Hello YouTube, it's Sean from the Pompey Games Room back with another review video. So you might all remember that I own a PS Vita, and that up until probably about 3 weeks ago this was the gaming grip that I used on it. But the one problem with this gaming grip was, as you notice the Vita's not in it, but it's pretty handy to show you, is that when you hold it you can use the shoulder buttons here, which are the R2 and L2, but it's really difficult to get to the actual buttons, which are the R2, which is here, and the L2 button, which is here. So for some games you need to be able to use those buttons. I'm talking about like NHL, FIFA, Ghost Recon, you need it, Formula 1 and the Lego games, things like that, because you need to be able to use the R2 buttons. But the only problem is it's really difficult trying to find where those buttons are using this game grip. So it got me thinking, there must be a game grip out there that you can use, which you basically slot your PS Vita into, and it works absolutely fine by having a duplicate button which presses the button on the back touchscreen. Alas, here it is. So I searched this out, I was looking for a fair while, and the Vita actually sits in here quite nicely. So this is the touchscreen pad here, but the actual buttons here, the actual button that you need to press for the L2 and R2, they're sort of here and here. We're trying to find those on this, when it's in a gaming grip as well, trying to get your fingers there, manoeuvring it to press the button, it's very difficult. So anyway, well, how does this controller work? Well, it's a normal controller here in the fact that it lets you use the L2 and, R1 and L1 buttons, but it also has extra buttons which are on the gaming grip. They are R2 and L2, which obviously are sort of extra trigger buttons for certain games that you need. So this has really changed the way I play my games for PS Vita and PlayStation 4, in the fact that I don't actually have to have the TV on anymore and have to use an actual PlayStation 4 controller anymore. This actual gaming grip, it cost me I think £27 delivered. I got it off of eBay and it's by a company called Joetsu Electronics. Now there will be a link in the description below this video if you're interested, guys. There are different models. Now my one is a PlayStation Vita 2000 model, which is one of the earlier models. It's one of the first models they brought out, which means it's a bit fatter. You can get the PlayStation Slim models, which I accidentally bought a case for, and was 40 quid, so it was more expensive than the case that I actually needed. Basically that came without this front plate on it, it was just the back part, so you slotted the actual PS Vita Slim into it, and it was held in by some little clips at the side. But the fatter models, they have the actual fold over case at the front. As you can see here, it's sort of all connected and held into place with these little teeth. But it's a really good little model, this, and it's made an absolutely amazing difference. It's really comfortable to hold. It's made of plastic, but it's not cheap plastic. It doesn't sound like I'm going to snap it off or anything. And it's, like I said, it's really changed the way that I now play games on the PlayStation 4, because I can sit there whilst my wife's watching TV, the PlayStation can be running, and the game can be streaming through this, and I'm able to use all the buttons. Whereas before you would get frustrated because you were constantly trying to find the R2 button on the back or the L2 button. So guys, I'm going to put a little video, tag it onto this to show you this being used in action. Now I'm going to use Formula 1 for that. The only reason is because obviously accelerator is R2 and brake is L2. Also, when you're playing, I quite like to use those as the gear change buttons, so I've reconfigured the controllers to be able to use those. So this is absolutely perfect for what I want to use it for. And also, for the sake of 30 quid, to be able to change your PS Vita from just a handheld console to being used as a proper sort of game console, because providing you've got a good internet reception within the house and a good range on your internet, and you can stream your console to this, it's almost like having one of the Nintendo Switch consoles or the Wii U. The fact that you can actually sit there and play it very comfortably for a prolonged amount of time, and not need to clog up the TV, especially if you've got kids and things like that and you need to keep the TV free. It's absolutely perfect, guys. So yeah, this is by a company called Joetsu Electronics. Like I said, there'll be a link in the description below. They are still on eBay. Shipping all in, the actual unit itself I think is £21, but shipping it comes from Japan, so it's it's about 6 or 7 quid postage depending on where you are in the UK. But it's definitely worth checking out, guys. If you've got a PS4, or PS3, because you can tether your PS3 to the actual Vita as well. If you can do that, excellent guys, sort this out, because for the price of a controller you can buy the actual game grip, and PS Vita units themselves now in CEX are between 60 to 80 quid, and the actual graphics on this thing for the games alone is absolutely brilliant. But if you can get this little game grip as well, you've got yourself another controller guys, more ways to play and more ways to enjoy gaming. Right then guys, so we're downstairs, and as you can see the PlayStation 4 is on once it focuses there, and I'm just going to press remote play and let it connect, and hopefully in a minute it will actually sync any second now, hopefully. There we go, it's signed on my screen now, which is a good sign, and now it's just flicking over. Probably should have done this before. So the controller here, as you can see, we've got the two buttons here, probably put it in a bit more focus for you. So it's in the clamp now. I've tried to position this TV so you can actually sort of see a part of this and also the TV. I just want to get across, because Formula 1 is something you really need the R2 and L2 shoulder buttons for. So let's go for Formula 1 15 and we'll update later. So obviously if I'd been more professional I would have sorted this out beforehand, but I'm not, unfortunately, so we'll go with like this. So I'm just going to give you an idea what it's like, because if you can use this game with this controller for the Vita, it's perfect, because there's a lot going on, if that makes sense. You need to be making sort of multiple gear changes, brakes and things like that, and there just simply aren't enough buttons on the Vita to use as a controller. So I can put this on the TV and play this very comfortably. I can put this on the console, and comfortably play this sitting in the sofa that I'm currently sitting in now, and we can watch something on TV whilst I'm playing it on the screen here with no problems. So let's skip that makes sense, and I'll show you. Now there is one thing I wanted to say about this. When you're playing this, that using these buttons, you'll see this here comes up quite a lot, and I don't know what I've just pressed, but you see there at the top. So when you use the back buttons, it actually comes up on the screen. Now there is a way you can override that, I think, but it's something I haven't tried out yet. But that's the only gripe I have with this from using it. Let's go to Canada and let's use classic F1 team here, and let's use Roman Grosjean. So that's fine. Let's go for that. Yeah, that's all good. So, close settings. So, I'm going to be controlling this down here, okay? Hello? And I'll try and sort of sneak it in here so you can see it, see me using it. But it's pretty responsive, guys, as I think hopefully you will see from this. If you're going to buy an actual game grip, this is definitely one to look for. I only say it because the comfort on this as well. I've not got massive hands or anything, but this is perfectly comfortable to use. But I can see it being even comfortable for someone with even larger hands. But anyway, so let's go to quick race. So there we go. Using R2, and we're away. So straight away here, as you can see, it's pretty. I've just hit someone, and how to go from. So difficult to talk and actually race at the same time. But anyway, yeah, using this Vita here, it's something I always wanted to be able to do actually with my Vita, and use it as an actual controller. Be able to sit down and play on the sofa whilst obviously watching something else on TV, and taking off half the field as well. You know what? It fulfills the job pretty well. I'm using this controller at the moment as my primary controller. Sorry, I keep looking at the camera, making sure that I'm actually recording. It's very comfy to hold, like I've already touched on, and also the buttons are very responsive. So obviously you're hitting the screen, it's not actually got a button on the screen behind on the Vita. It's a touch screen basically. It's not actually got a button to hit as such. So, but this here is pretty good. I'm just going to lower it there so you can actually see it. But I'm controlling this with the Vita controller. Very responsive. It's how would I say rate it? With the other controllers that I've played with, it's no different to control any game really than using an actual PlayStation controller. There's no difference. There's a few games that apparently this won't work with just the Vita itself, that you can't use as a controller. But on the whole, for the sake of about 40 quid, it's definitely worth doing. Oh, massive, they overshot that. Because I only say that because I quite like to, like I said, set this up on the TV, watch TV, and then be able to play my PlayStation through my Vita. Primarily, one of the reasons I actually got a Vita was for that. So yeah, to be able to use this little controller as an actual sort of screen and controller as an all-in-one, but with PS4 graphics. Obviously, you've got to have a pretty strong internet connection if you want to play your games via the actual Vita unit itself, but it's well worth it. So another thing that's also important to say about this controller is that once it's actually on the Vita, there's no rattling or anything. I mean, I can sort of throw this around, and there's no, like, pressing the button isn't making the unit itself feel cheap at all. It's making it feel sort of solid, part of the Vita itself. I'm not worried about sort of breaking off buttons here and there, and it feels really, really well moulded to the actual Vita unit itself. Yeah, so guys, this is a really, really quick review on this actual controller, accessory for the Vita, should we say. And it's well worth seeking out for all of you handheld gamers out there. So that's all for now. I'll be back with another video soon. Just had to get that in there. Obviously it was his mistake, he shouldn't be braking in that area of the track. But I will be back very, very soon with another video. And until then, thanks for watching. Bye.